Hello everyone, my name is Ray Bowman and this is my Week 2 multimedia presentation for MPA 580 Legal and Ethical Issues in the Public Sector. As a quick overview, today's presentation will cover St. Thomas Aquinas' natural law, Kant's categorical imperatives, Bentham and Mill's utilitarianism, Hobbes' contractarianism, a couple of examples of these frameworks in public administration, virtue theory in public administration, and of course my closing. So first off is St. Thomas Aquinas' natural law theory, which argues that morality and ethics are inherent in human nature and that divine command can be discovered through human reason, even without reading religious scripts or without knowing God. St. Thomas Aquinas believed that humans have a natural inclination towards good things, and he provided a list of basic goods that, when pursued, align with the morality set forth by God. Immanuel Kant, on the other hand, theorized the idea of categorical imperatives, which are principles-based, and in essence argues that an action is only ethical if it can be universally applied, meaning everyone should be able to follow the same rule in similar situations, and if we would allow that action, then that action is ethical. Kant also emphasized the humanity of people in that we must not treat them as a means to achieve someone else's goal. So one of the examples provided was lying, and lying is impermissible under Kant's categorical imperatives. Bentham and Mill popularized the theoretical framework of utilitarianism, and it's an ethical theory that determines right and wrong based on the consequences resulting from the action. Ultimately, the goal is to maximize overall happiness or utility and minimize suffering. So the best action is the one that produces the greatest good for the greatest number of people, and under this theory, moral actions are based on outcomes rather than on personal duty or inherent principles. Hobbes' work, on the other hand, focuses on social agreements or contracts. So his theory is known as contractarianism. This theory argues that morality and ethics are based on social constructs, implicit and explicit agreements that ultimately lead to the benefit of the parties involved. So Hobbes' work is prefaced with him saying that the state of nature is solitary, poor, and brutish, and social contracts are the tools that lead to morality. Hobbes argues that humans are rational and self-interested, and social agreements establish morality instead of inherent principles or deity. There are various ways that ethical frameworks can be applied to public administration and public programs, but one that I've seen recently is in the establishment of a drought penalty program. So essentially, a program was established whereby a penalty fee was assessed on residents who used too much water. And so from a utilitarian perspective, this program would be ethical because for the greater good, it's necessary to impose this fee to encourage conservation for society as a whole and for future generations to come. However, from the lens of contractarianism, this might not be supported because there was no public vote or social agreement whereby residents could disagree to this program. So that's one example in which, a certain public administration program could be viewed differently between two different lenses of theoretical or ethical frameworks. Lastly, virtue theory emphasizes that ethical behavior comes from being a virtuous person and cultivating virtuous traits like honesty, compassion, and courage. According to this theory, the goal of life is to achieve eudaimonia, which is attained by consistently practicing virtuous habits and striving for excellence, which I believe is applicable to public administrators, but only in parts. Although virtuous actions and moral excellence are important to public administrators, there's also a side of ethics that center on duties and principles. Although virtue theory applies to public administrators in one respect, as it requires moral integrity, it is not the only lens through which morality is seen in public administration. For example, public programs are usually established under a utilitarian lens that seeks to provide the service for the greater good of the greatest number of people, and public service operates under a contractarian approach whereby residents pay a tax and the local government provides the service. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your time and your feedback. Have a great day.